Hey YouTube, how's it going? Melvin back here again with another Epic 7 video, and this one's all about my green 3 team. Blooming Snag Lich is probably the most annoying expedition among all 4 of them because trying to make a consistent auto team is almost close to impossible. You need to crack the crystal right when the boss does his ultimate, and it's pretty hard to make a team speed tune around that. I feel like the best way to deal with this boss is to deal as much damage at the beginning as possible because you don't really need to survive the entire time. What's important is that you're able to hit that 300k damage. That way, you know, you're not slacking off and you've technically done your job. So for my team, I'm just gonna do as much damage at the beginning, and if my team dies, whatever. If it survives, that's great, I could do even more damage, but for the most part, it's all about that damage at the beginning and then you're done. The first unit I'm going to be talking about is going to be my Mascot Hazel, and that's because she's going to be moving first in my team. She has 2 jobs. It's to provide attack buff for the team and also keeping the team alive to at least survive for 2 rotations. My team usually dies after that, and like I said, that's okay so long as you're hitting that 300k damage threshold. There's also a lot of utility in your skill tree for this boss specifically. The biggest one I want to mention is giving your team 10% effectiveness, meaning instead of needing 85 effectiveness on your DPS debuffers, you only need 75% effectiveness. For her artifact, I'm currently running Prophetic Candlestick. It works when it works. The boss doesn't AoE that much for this to be like best in slot. When it procs, it increases the uptime of your attack buff, which is great. And it also gives you more healing, which is nice, but it's probably not best in slot. Best in slot is probably going to be Super Duper Water Gun, giving you that attack buff and effectiveness. Pretty nice, but this artifact is so good that I think you shouldn't be wasting it on an expedition team. This is probably something you will be using on a hunt team because, like I said, it's really dang good, and it seems like a waste using good artifacts in an expedition team. Another one I want to quickly talk about is going to be Card of Small Miracles. Again, another really good hunt artifact. For her, man, just put whatever you want, to be honest. It really doesn't matter. She's just, like I said, she's just there for turn 1 attack buff and, you know, a little bit of healing. The next unit I'm going to be talking about is Baal and Sezan. He's going to be moving second in my team. His role is a DPS debuffer, providing you with speed down and defense break on his S3. He's actually best in slot for green 3 since both of his debuffs, the speed down and death break, are both in 1 skill, and he does incredible amounts of damage if you have him like high mullet and decently geared. But the problem is he's useless literally everywhere else. There's no use for Baal and Sezan aside from green 3, and it's kind of hard for me to recommend Baal and Sezan because you'll be wasting moles if you're putting moles on an expedition hero. The only reason why I'm using Baal and Sezan is because I already molded him way back in the day. I used to run him in my cleave team. Again, this was way back in the day. For replacements, if you don't want to use Baal and Sezan, just use Fire Tenebria. They sort of do the same thing. The only problem is Fire Tenebria doesn't do as much damage as Fireball, and also her skills, her debuffs are separate in that her death break is on her S3 and her slow is on her S2, unlike Fireball, who has both debuffs in a single skill. For stats, do note that I only have 78 effectiveness. Again, remember we're talking about Mascot Hazel providing the team with 10% effectiveness. This is where it shines. That way, you know, I could move my stats around and give him more damage stats. If I was running Super Duper Water Gun with Mascot Hazel, that would go down to 65%. So, you know, just remember you only need 75% if you're running Mascot Hazel. For his artifact, I'm using Radiant Forever. It's currently in the Holo Trials and it's a little bit expensive. You don't have to buy this. You could also use Caladra. They're both the same. I just have my Caladra on someone else right now. Radiant Forever is actually best in slot for him since his S3 and his S2 are both AoE attacks, and they're going to get 50% increased damage at max level, which is a lot of damage. For the next one, it's going to be Kayron, and he's just on scuff gear, like as much damage as I can, but I don't really use my Kayron anywhere else, so I don't really care about his gear right now. Like I said, it's just a DPS unit. You could replace him literally with any DPS, maybe like a Kana, maybe even like a Coward. Doesn't really matter. You just need a DPS here because you want to do as much damage as you can. For my Kayron though, I am running the S1 EE, giving me 10% increased damage on my S1, and I'm running Dust Devil for a little bit of RNG. Okay, for the last spot, this might surprise a lot of people, but I really think Chaos Inquisitor is really good here for a couple of reasons. One, he's a knight. Two, he's really good at soaking the boss's mechanic where the boss does an attack to the front unit, and if that unit goes below 50% HP, he does another attack. And since Chaos Inquisitor only takes 35% of his health as damage max, it's going to be hard for the boss to bring him below 50%. Because for the most part, he's always going to be above 80% for me. Also, he does have some healing, making him very self-sustainable. And since you don't need that much HP defense stats, you can go ahead and YOLO some more damage. Like I said, my strategy is just, deal as much damage as you can, and making my knight a DPS hero actually works really well for me. And lastly, he's really good at dispelling buffs. The boss has an attack buff, which can be scary, so he does protect the team by dispelling that. His S3 will proc his S1 if the boss is buffed, so if the boss has attack buff, it's going to proc his S1, which is his trip. And his S1 only has a 60% chance to dispel buffs, but there's 2 chances, so it's a pretty decent chance to take out the attack buff and protect your team that way. And that is going to be it for my team. If you guys like the content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and maybe write a comment. I'm going to be trying to release at least 4 videos a week. Hopefully there's enough content in Epic 7 for that. But until then, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Just as planned.
Are you ready, my lady? Trivial fools. Obey, kneel.
Oh my.
I'll make you see your stupidity.
Fall away.
Magnificent. How futile. Disappear. Your torment excites me.
Please hurry. It's urgent.
My lady? Away with you. Your torment excites me.
Oh, come on.
Bones to sand.
Blood to dust.
How futile. Disappear. Your torment excites me.
Just as planned.
A roaming heart forever wandering.